18th, Radnor Township Environmental Advisory Council. And first of order of business is for the members attending to approve or comment on the minutes from November 19th. No comments. All those in favor, raise their hands. Okay, good. I had okay, and public comment now. Diana, you just sat down. I know you can get up again.
You want me to talk about this?
I'd like you to speak to this, please.
Okay.
You're the most familiar with it because I'm not.
Diana Pope and Windermere Avenue. So we got a notice, I think, through the League of Women Voters.
Is your mic on?
EPA. I wouldn't know how to turn it on.
Okay. Okay. That's all right. Go ahead.
And it just relates to some grants that came from the EPA. So they are funding quite a few states with very specific projects. But the reason I'm talking about it is because Delaware County is one of the places that receive funding. So the County of Delaware, PA, was selected to receive $4,998,070 for their Transfer Stations Reimagined Composting and Expanded Recycling Services project, which aims to build accessible recycling capacity, reduce pollution, increasing diversion, and improve localized air quality throughout the county's communities. So
Great.
Beyond that, I don't have any details, but it's something we can be following for sure. And whether we have any input, I don't know. The way grants usually work is you've already determined what it is you plan to do, but perhaps we can be partners in one way or another as a township in supporting the county and its efforts.
Yes, I think we need to understand what the recycling process is down at that transfer station in terms of segregation of different types of recyclables and what is disposed of, and then as best they can tell us, where do each of these recyclables go and what is their fate, and how this can be improved using the grant. I think
Yeah, so because someone wrote the grant, it's probably the Office of Sustainability, or whether it's an office or not, I'm
Right.
not sure. And we could just ask them, because I'm sure there's specifics in that
Okay.
related to the grant.
I'll contact Delco Office of Sustainability.
Thank you. So there's one other thing while I'm up here. It's something I raised in the past, and you did follow up with the township, who felt that we did things just fine in preparation for disaster. There was an interesting piece in the New York Times in November after they suffered a devastating hurricane. And it says, after Jamaica's disastrous storm, solar power is a bright spot. So it turns out those people that had solar panels on their houses, some people actually even removed them during the storm and replaced them. They became wonderful, immediate sources of power for all the people around them. That was vital. So
These were private homes.
private homes.
In what town again?
This is in Jamaica,
Jamaica.
in
Okay.
the country.
Yeah.
And so I'm just saying it again to reiterate the point that the way things stand in our community and most of the country, if you have solar panels, you feed your power directly into your local power company. you don't necessarily have access to that power yourself. And that if it were engineered in a way that you could, even though we don't imagine disasters,
Right.
in fact, it's a great way to provide more security in neighborhoods. Because how many people can get to the municipal center if there really is dramatic flooding or who knows what, you know?
Right.
Anyway.
It's kind of a put-together community solar. It's kind of created from existing individual solar panels without having an actual field that's been created to serve a
Right.
community.
The whole idea is individuals have it of their own volition, whoever can afford it, and et cetera. But simply that you have access to your own solar power should you need it. That's all. I can forward this to you if you like the
Yes,
New York
please.
Times article. It's back from November, but I haven't had a chance to come
Thank you,
up and
Diana.
say anything. Thank you.
Moving on, I had an action item coming from last month's public comment about road salt and the risk of contaminating our waterways and groundwater with after a winter storm. I asked Ricky, how often does the Department of Public Works in Radnor apply road salt during a typical winter? He said he figured it could be 5 to 25 times a winter, and that would be for all kinds of storms that have the potential for freezing. And he emphasized that the salt that they put down is done to ensure the roads are safe. And he reminded me that the Department of Public Works is responsible for the safety of the township community. I asked him what is the application rate of road salt, and this is actual sodium chloride, rock salt. Did he have a measurement like pounds per mile, per lane mile, which you see in the internet? And he says he doesn't have that kind of measurement. He basically applies based on the delivery system in the back of the trucks that spins around. And there's an auger that holds the salt and controls how much salt comes from the bed of the truck. And the spinner then disperses it. So he couldn't answer that question. If you read the literature or from the EPA and even some Department of Transportation in other states, they say 100 to 300 pounds per lane mile. These are guidelines depending on, apparently on what the expected freezing event is. So I think this conversation, I'd like to continue with the Department of Public Works once we get more information on how to address the salt contamination in our township, which we will talk about further in this meeting. EAC membership. Well, we're welcoming with the new year Anjana Vidyadhara, is that correct? And Anjana has been very active with us in the perennial seed and perennial plant promotion in our township, including the perennial plant giveaway that we held last spring. And I'm sure she will contribute more in that vein and other. and the Seed Library at the Radnor Memorial Library. Bill Jealous is also going to join us in January. Thank you, Bill. We had a very, very quick conversation, and you were bringing up some really insightful questions and concerns just in the brief minute we were together, so I appreciate it, that already level of involvement. So we'll see you at the January, well, it's the 3rd January, third Wednesday in January. Bess, is there any progress in getting a student representative from Radnor High School?
Well, after 2 emails and no response, I have a flyer that I'm going to be printing and sending to, or asking the school to post around the school. So we're hopefully in January, February, we can get a few representatives.
Good.
I can show you all.
I hope you're successful.
Yeah.
We've had some very engaging and knowledgeable student representatives in the past, so I hope that continues. So announcements, it's pretty brief this time. Tomorrow, December 18th at 7 o'clock, Jenkins Arboretum and Trout Unlimited, along with Tredyffrin EAC, are presenting a talk on salt, a winter water conundrum. Lo and behold, it's going to be presented by Kate Hodelmeyer, Water Resources Planner for Chester County Water Resources Authority. This appears to be online. The Eventbrite registration link is in the agenda for tonight, as well as the minutes from the last meeting. So we'll move on to ongoing business because Kathy isn't here to address her action. Carol, I know we got lines crossed in talking to Steve Norsini about installing public charging stations in the township.
I'll plan to follow up with him.
Okay.
And be able to report back at the next meeting.
Okay. Thank you, Carol. I don't have an update any further on the municipal energy conservation electrification involving the township buildings and also electric vehicle purchases. So we'll get another update next month. Solar panels are continuing to be installed on the Public Works building. And I believe this building is, in the spring, is going to be receiving energy upgrades, if not also solar panels being installed. Public education, the Radnor EAC lecture series. We do have 2 presentations coming up in January 21st at 7 p.m. Thanks to Carol. Steve Schreiner of Schreiner Tree Care will be talking about beech tree leaf disease. Is he asking for an honorarium?
I didn't bring it up. I mean, do you think,
Well, I think it, yeah, okay.
I guess, so far he hasn't, I asked
Yeah.
for the information that we needed. His assistant was supposed to get it to me. I haven't gotten it yet, but.
Okay. All right.
I was gonna ask you how, this isn't something that he does.
Normally.
No, so.
I would like.
He does a lot for the township. I don't know that.
Right. Well, I'd like to offer it to him, I think. Let's just see what happens.
All right, well, how much do we want?
Well, no more than 200. That's our rate that we agreed to
All right,
last year,
okay.
or about to be last year.
So, hopefully I'll have the information this week about, and so does that go to, about his, his title and
Yeah.
background? Who does that go to?
That'll go to Ian Myers and Melissa,
Okay,
and it should be all self-contained and ready just to be posted
all right.
electronically. And you can also have Molly Gallagher included, I guess.
Molly Gallagher,
Yeah, she's handles,
Melissa, and you said,
and Ian Myers. He's the AV expert.
Carol, I have maybe it's 8x7 advertisement that I put into the Radnor newsletter that I'll forward to you.
oh,
That should have all the information.
from Steve Schreiner's?
Yes,
Oh, did you
Oh, you got a
get
bio
it
or?
from him, or you got it? or you just-
I got it from somewhere. I mean, from one of y'all.
'Cause I
Oh.
spoke to his assistant, and she was supposed to send it to me.
Oh, this was related. I think it was in the minutes that I pulled that from.
Okay,
But did you get it from, I don't want to, bug him, if you got.
I'll show it to you after
yeah.
the meeting.
And you,
'Cause
you
if you
guys,
already got it, 'cause I've been
Yeah.
talking to her.
right.
It's short, so there may be more that the assistant could provide. I'm not sure. We'll look
Okay.
at it and see.
Yeah. All right, so that's January 21st on beech tree leaf disease, which unfortunately is another affliction of a tree species in this region of the country. Tuesday, April 28th, Mike Wheelbacher will return and speak about the buzz about bees, pollinators in peril. So I think that's very seasonal topic to be talking about in the spring when they wake up from their slumber and get to work making honey. And
Before we leave, are we leaving the topic of, I
No.
wanted to talk about, do we want to move, do you want me to talk about the Radnor Memorial Library?
Yes.
Yet now, or wait?
later,
Okay.
yeah. Bess, you've been working on connecting with two people about a spring talk or workshop. Would you like to talk more about that?
Yes. So I have been in touch with Eva Monheim, who is a horticulturalist and environmental educator, and she has a whole series of talks to choose from, and several workshops. Most of her talks are with adults, and then there are two with children, ages K through 12. And this one that she would be available for on April 18th, it's a Saturday, at the Radnor Memorial Library in the Windsor Room. We haven't determined an actual time frame, 2 hours or so, but that April 18th, we've been able to reserve the room with Carrie Sturgill, the children's librarian. So Carrie and I have been in contact also. So now what we need to do is see about co-sponsorship with the Radnor Conservancy and the Garden Club of Wayne, and so to see if they would be able to contribute to her honorarium. So Eva also, as I said, has adult-oriented talks, and whether it's on invasive plants and their management, or dependable native perennials, or food forests, there's at least over 20 of talks that we could look at and talk about, whether we would like for her to do another talk with adults or teens. That could be at the Windsor Room, in the Windsor Room, or the Kreutzberg Center. So that one, I haven't really sort of like, I haven't made any decisions about that, or I wanted to talk with you all, talk that through, what kind of talks would be most relevant and timely for Radnor residents, and then also talk with the Radnor Conservancy and if they had any input on that, especially if they can contribute also to that talk. The third one, you want me to keep going,
Well,
Dan?
Let's see if we can nail this one down.
Okay.
If I can ask you once again to send an email to the EAC with the full list of talks that she could
Sure.
address,
Yeah.
and include Radnor Conservancy, of
Okay.
course, and ask these two groups to weigh in on that. If we can narrow down the selection before we meet again in January, that would be great.
Okay.
Being January, then we probably would schedule her for March,
Yeah.
likely.
Okay.
It depends how soon she could agree to a time. She could speak in February, if that's possible as well.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
A lot of work, thank you.
Oh, sure.
And you have a second group of individuals.
Yes. So Sarah Weiner Cooper and Larry Weiner are two individuals who are part of this New Directions in the American Landscape, based in Glenside, Pennsylvania. And they have a whole list of talks that primarily are around transitioning from lawns to meadows, but also just around native plants and ecological design. So have been in touch with Sarah Weiner Cooper and just to see what we could do to get her into Radnor Township and talking with our people. So you can see the cost is similar to Eva Monheim's, and so co-sponsoring with the Radnor Conservancy and then also the Garden Club of Wayne would be pretty helpful. But they are very knowledgeable, experienced, and I think especially Larry Weiner, Sarah Weiner Cooper is, has been doing this also, but I think Larry Weiner started this in the early 90s, the Indal group. So, and they are sort of on par with Doug Tallamy, if you've heard of him. Yeah, yeah. So they're buddies. So, all right, so they would be available February, March, April. For either hybrid or possibly in person, given that they're relatively local.
Yes. Well, I think a hybrid would be best, given the weather will be nicer. People could make it to the Kreutzberg Center or Radnor Memorial Library. And I'd like to have these talks on a monthly basis, so it depends how soon we could schedule Ms. Monheim. We could then place the Coopers and Weiner Cooper presentation in the other month, preferably March or even April, early April. So I think This Lawn to Meadows is a, they have it's already a set presentation that they're
Yes.
just ready to pull off the shelf. That's great, okay.
Well, Dan, did you see did you see Sarah Weiner Cooper at the EAC?
Oh, that network,
No.
I couldn't make that meeting.
Oh, I see, okay.
I had a family situation,
Okay.
yeah, regrettably. So I guess, Bess, I could ask you to see if they could, what time they could speak. We have to set that up, but at the same time, I know Melissa as well as Carol has been talking about possible venues. And Melissa, have you talked to Kreutzberg?
So I did reach out to Kreuzberg and several times, and I haven't gotten anything back from them yet
Okay.
with those questions on capacity and availability.
Huh. Was
Maybe
that,
there's a different contact that I
yeah,
should
I'm
be
wondering
reaching
if
out to.
mainline.
I was reaching out to MLSN directly.
Oh, you are?
Yeah,
Good.
yeah,
So you're just starting that?
yeah. I can try to call them instead of via email. Sometimes that's better.
Yeah, I think a call,
Okay.
yeah. Emails are easy to ignore, unfortunately, like some texts. Okay, yeah, it'd be great if we could get that answer
I
at
can reach
some
out.
time.
Oh, yeah, I'll reach out to them tomorrow. It's fine.
Okay, thank you. Because, Carol, the Windsor Room at Radnor Memorial, you,
So I followed up with Pam Sador. She's the
Yeah.
reference librarian that handles the Windsor Room, and she welcomes us with open arms and actually hopes that we will use the room. What she said to me, she said, the township owns our building, and the more that we can partner, the more we
Okay.
welcome
All right.
opportunities like this. And she also, so you just need to give me the dates, and I will call and make sure the room is available, but there's no problem. And the Windsor Room is set up to handle audio, visual,
Mhm.
and any, now, I don't know, would Ian come over and help run it? Because she did ask me that,
okay.
because if we're doing a Zoom and we're doing, hybrid.
Right.
So,
Yeah, I don't know if we can bug Ian at this point, in
but
the middle of a meeting.
But she also said she would like us to become partners.
Uh-huh,
And that's what I wanted to send you that email so you could share can you bring up your emails? If not, I can do mine, how they have partnered with other, like the Conservancy.
right.
So if we're going to do a program there, if we partner with them, and then she will use her, like, social media and whatever to help
Oh, really?
get the word out and encourage attendance.
Oh,
So,
good.
She said it's more or less a community partner.
Yes.
And that's what they've done, and she would help us. And I wanted to, let me see if I can share what,
What was the seat capacity
so I
there?
think it's no problem. I think we should move forward with
Oh,
the
wow.
Windsor Room with.
125?
Yeah, for the
Okay.
21st?
Yeah, so that's what I wanted to ask you. Do we want to move Steve's presentation?
Yeah,
So,
yeah, why don't we,
I'm going to just share it. So you see how the different logos.
well, that's a good
So we would
question.
do
We
our-
were
this was
thinking
with Birdtown.
just
And then we
not
would-
hybrid, but Zoom.
So this is an example of how they partnered with, Birdtown. And then we have the different logos around the bottom, so we would be one of their partners.
Okay. Well,
So
that's
I
a-
was hoping Kathy would be here because Kathy is the commissioner for the library. So,
Uh-huh.
So would be good to have her feedback. But this is just an example of what they did with the bird count.
Oh, yeah.
So our logo would be down here. And we're doing so much with them now anyway with the Seed Library. And they did something with the Willows where they partnered with the Conservancies. want to move the January 21st then? I
Well,
mean, I think we should.
yeah, at the last meeting, we were talking about a only online presentation in January because of inclement weather
No, I
possibility.
think Steve was going to come.
He was going to come.
He was going to come.
He was going to, well, he's a tree surgeon. He doesn't, snow doesn't scare him, sure.
So
Okay, you all think we should have a hybrid for the 21st?
I think
All right.
we should, weather permitting, we should. So, well, I got to make sure the room's available, so I'll send her an email tomorrow and just tell her that we want the room. Now, are we going to have our meeting, we'd have our meeting there too, so we'd need the room as of 6 to have our meeting and then follow his presentation.
That's interesting. Oh, it's a Wednesday, yes.
Can we have our meeting outside of the township building?
I don't know. I'll look into that.
So
I'll ask-
you'll
I'll
look
ask,
into it before I call and reserve the room then?
Yeah, I'll
We're-
ask
'cause
Kathy.
we would have trouble getting from, unless we cut our meeting short, getting from here
Well,
to there.
yeah, our meeting would be, well, it potentially could be hybrid as well, but it's kind of a scramble to invite the township to a new venue. All right, I'll talk to Kathy about that, because you're right, it is a Wednesday.
I mean, we could have an abridged meeting.
Pardon?
We can have an abridged meeting between us and then go over to the library.
Right, we could,
Specific topics that are high priority.
that's true. Like a
I mean, it would
45-minute.
be easier not to have to go park and to get it, to get there early. It would be easier just to do it all in the same place.
Yes, I don't know what precedent's been set for that, so
Yeah, I know,
I'll
I
ask
know.
Kathy and I'll ask Ian.
Well, the bottom line is, they welcome us with
Yeah,
open arms to
that's-
have our.
That's wonderful.
To do whatever we want there.
Right. Okay. All right. Yes, so for Tuesday, April 28th, definitely springtime and stuff. I love the Kreuzberg Center. If you've been there, it's an old mansion with the dog park in front of it. But if we've got an ongoing thing with the Memorial Library, and I think that the capacity of that room, the Windsor room, can handle up to maybe 80 people, 100 people maybe.
Pretty big room.
On the website, it says 125.
Okay.
But
Thank you. Well, then that pretty much is adequate, unless we're blessed with enthusiasm. All right. So these are action items I definitely want you all to check in my draft minutes, to make sure they're accurate, okay? Okay, so that's really great. We're going to have a nice full EAC lecture series. Okay, so other education avenues is the Radnor News Community Newsletter. And Bess, you've gotten work with Ed Norton, or not Ed Norton, the editor, to publish Smart Salting, Winter De-icing Guide for Radnor Residents. So it'll be published in the winter issue.
That's great.
And there was something about you sharing videos with Sven on salting techniques?
I think I did. Yes, yes.
Okay.
Ricky is the township facilities maintenance responsible,
Right.
and he wrote an email back to us about the
Road salting.
about the road salting, and it was, I would say, a very polite no to anything
Yes.
to
Yeah.
reconsider.
Yes.
He wrote back that the objective of the city is, of course, to keep the roads free and to have everybody drive safely who is a beginner, older, doesn't have a safe car, or whatever might be the circumstance. And I read it like we put as much salt on the streets as we think is required to make people safe.
Mm-hmm.
That was the
Right.
bottom line of the
Yep.
email.
What about sidewalks?
I think he didn't mention sidewalks because I think sidewalks aren't there the responsibility of the residents.
Right.
Well, there are areas, like I know on West Wayne, where I live, in front of, let's say, there's the Historical Society Cemetery, or underneath the Radnor Trail, trestles.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the township's responsibility, and there is a lot of salt.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I think if we want to do or make another attempt, we have to talk about technical adjustments to the way how they sold. Because in the end of the day, I think it's a liability question that they have. Do we
Right.
sold enough or not?
Right.
And where is the gray zone between too much or too little salt? And we have to hit that zone. Yeah.
Right.
And
Yeah.
I was, sorry, just going to add that after reaching out to some other EACs, there are alternatives that other townships are using right now, even over the last 2 decades.
Yeah.
And-
You can address those when we.
Okay, but I was going to
that's
say that
next in the
there's
agenda.
research showing that using brine, for instance, over
Yes.
salt has just as good, if not better, performance on the streets. So
Yep.
I would say we should probably dive into data and then present that to him
Yep.
as
Good.
we're learning more. Yeah.
That's a good idea. If it comes with savings to spend less money, that would be the best way to approach it. Yeah,
Right. Right.
yeah.
Yeah, it's, okay. See,
Dan, just
Yeah.
to follow up on that, I think we can do the following after discussion tonight, that we just follow up with Ricky.
follow up with Ricky.
Yes,
I think okay, let's have our ducks in a row first. You think? we
yeah.
can- Okay. Okay. Other publications, okay. Radnor Patch, I was so mistaken. You can advertise in Radnor Patch for your township for free. And so I will post when the ad for Steve Schreiner is available. I will have that ad posted in early January.
And Dan, when I spoke with Pam at the library, she said she has a relationship and she would, with Patch, and she would get our information on Patch as well.
Wow, swell. All right, so we'll make sure that goes.
So that's the advantage of being a community partner with them, is it should
Right, and
help with things like that.
Pam Sador, how do you spell her name?
Right here.
Oh, just like it sounds, okay,
Here's her information, right here. I
right,
can send this to you.
okay. No, I've seen her response, because you forwarded this to me, I believe. Yeah, thank you. All right, well, that's wonderful. Promoting native plants and sustainable landscapes. Bess and Sven, I think for the spring, you would be putting together a article covering the appropriate earth-friendly tips in your list here in the agenda. So is that still ongoing?
That's still the plan, yes.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Do you have an idea when you would want to get this ready to send to the newsletter?
I think February 15th is the deadline. I will double check with Ed Watton, which is similar to Norton, but
Okay.
yeah, either on the beach leaf disease, 333 rule, and I think invasives.
Great. Okay.
Okay.
Well, we'll look forward to that.
Don't we want to do the
And
mosquito
mosquito
bucket
bucket.
challenge, because that's much better for spring, because,
Yes, mosquito bucket challenge, okay.
and
we can do that
maybe,
one.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay. So tell me what you're talking about, just at this point, which subjects?
The mosquito bucket challenge,
Uh-huh.
well, mulching trees, invasive 11, we could make them smaller graphics and have
Yep.
multiple,
Yes, I think they can fit on a page,
yeah,
all three of them.
yeah.
Great. Okay. Okay. We've been talking about road salt ending up in our water supply. And as I shared, Bess and I shared last meeting, unfortunately, the stream samples we got for Radnor Township showed unexpectedly high chloride content and conductivity, especially near the Blue Route and also near the Lancaster Pike. So I looked further into this, and Stroud Water Research has a presentation about the results, along with results from a larger area in southeastern Pennsylvania. And the idea is that our aquifers are now contaminated with salt, so that year-round we're getting leaching of salt into streams months after the last salting of roads occurred. This is to the point that just a quick search on the internet, I found Glenside, Pennsylvania, as well as southern New Jersey, have communities who report salty water in their tap water, salty tap water, shortly after a storm, when there is a salting done. So I don't know to what extent the salt content is in the tap water at that time, but all of us know too much salt is bad for those prone to hypertension. And the idea is to get free water. The body needs free water, not salty water. So this is a problem that I'm quickly being made aware of, and I want our team to address it as we've been discussing for the coming year. Melissa, you talked to local EACs about the results of the Stroud research data.
Yes.
What was your
Yeah,
feedback?
and so I can summarize it a bit by township. So Lower Merion got back to us, and they worked with their Lower Merion Conservancy, and they completed their own salt study a few years back. They didn't run their own, EAC did not run their own study. There were policy recommendations that were put forward, that were considered, but not pursued at that time, so that was a few years ago. The Department of Public Works for them indicated brine was not feasible at the time. And then both in Springfield and Tredyffrin, no studies have been completed to date. There's a query follow-up I made to Tredyffrin specifically, so I'm waiting to hear back. And then Newtown Township, so they had local volunteers participate as well in the Stroud fall salt snapshot, I think similar to what we've done. And they also gathered compelling data. And they're working with a separate organization called PARSA, which I know exactly what that stands for.
Yeah.
I tried to Google it. I found
No.
different things.
So did I.
Okay. But PARSA will be creating trend graphs for specifically Darby and Crum Creeks within their township, and they're preparing a customized PowerPoint to share with their municipal staff, property managers, residents, and HOAs to educate them and inform them on salt application, I believe. So far, their township has no mitigation plans, and the issue has not been prioritized either. Narberth, I didn't receive anything, but what was interesting was from both Haverford Township and Marple Township, they've actually partnered together years ago, and they have a practice of using brine for roughly 2 decades. They've had success with this. They said there are some startup costs, but this is why they decided to partner together to reduce those costs, especially when it comes to the infrastructure that is needed for the brine application. They also shared with me that PennDOT and the Turnpike have partially adopted brine, so obviously it works. And they just have continued their partnership, and they said they highly recommend if we move forward to obviously learn about the infrastructure, the cost analysis that they went through, and how they decided to partner to make it work for both townships.
Right, and there's a contact, the Marple Township Manager, Larry Gentili, who
Would be the
give us
next person,
details on that brine
to.
operation.
But they're continuing to now run studies as well. So their EAC is working with Darby Creek Valley Association, as well as Malvern Prep, and then the U.S. Geological Survey in Villanova as all collaborators in this to look at the data and the aftermath of brine and how that's improved their situation.
Talking about neighboring townships, Bess and I participated with the Willistown Conservation Trust, Lauren McGrath, in collecting stream samples from 22 streams in Radnor Township in October. And those are the samples that yielded the results I just talked about. Apparently, Stroud is planning a January salt snapshot as well. So I think that if we sample the exact same streams, same stream locations, it would be useful comparative data. See if there's a seasonal effect on salt content. Ideally, you go out there shortly after a snowstorm, but I don't think 2 days ago any of us wanted to go out. But we would, I think the window is the last few days of January of this year.
Dan,
Of next year.
Can you filter the sodium out of your drinking water?
Probably, but you
In-
lose
you dis-
everything
You have to
else.
distill it at least.
So, and you lose other minerals when you're filtering tap
Yeah.
water on top of, you're
Right.
losing calcium, you're losing magnesium.
Right, you can use an ion exchange resin, but then you're
Right.
exchanging one ion for another. And that's how you make water soft, is you remove the divalent cations with sodium.
But
Good.
I think a really good contact that we made was with Stroud, right, Dan? John Jackson, who has interest coming and doing a lecture.
Yes,
And I
yes.
know that's next on the list, but they are also, they do have a plan of like a retraining program for different townships on salt application again. So I think the Stroud is trying to answer
Right,
the issue with
and,
that.
Actually, was there a set of dates that you would?
Yeah, I think we were
Neil.
thinking winter, so like January, February is, here we go. We didn't get back to him yet on dates. That would be good. It was the 14th, 15th.
Yes, he
19th or
had given some
26th.
dates. Okay,
Yeah.
so we need to coordinate those dates with
The library?
the library. Well, January 21st is set.
How long does it take to get samples back from our streams?
To get the results?
Yes.
Oh, it can, depending on the personnel being available, it can be done the same day you drop off the sample.
And the results are available the
Yeah.
next day? Okay, because I'm
Yeah.
thinking maybe we run our next sampling and then have him come after that. So later in January.
Okay,
I don't know.
that makes sense, yeah. Good.
Okay, so do you want me to follow up with him and
Right.
Carol can help block out the time for the 26th of January?
Right, for Steve Schreiner,
Steve Schreiner is, I thought he was the 21st.
the 21st January, but
For John,
we could line up John from Stroud for
early February.
February.
Okay, I'll ask him
Well,
for
probably
February dates.
mid to late February, I'd say.
Okay.
Let's
I'll
not be
follow up
too
with him.
aggressive. I've emailed Karen McGrath to see if she's willing to manage the Radnor samples like she did in October. So let's hold off and just make sure we've got a place to analyze the samples, that we can have some assurances to when the data will be ready. Okay. Great, guys. Let's see. It's,
So Dan, just as an action from the collaboration with EACs, do you want me to follow up with Haverford's contact there that is using the brine and,
yeah. That, we need to loop in the Department of Public Works on that. I think that is where we need to place our message. So let me contact Ricky. Well, yeah, first, I think we need to contact this fellow from Lower Marion, the Larry Gentili. If
I
you
can do
could
that.
contact him
Yeah,
and see
that's
if he'd
fine.
be willing.
I mean, I think
This
it,
is Marple Township Manager.
Okay.
If you're willing to talk to our Department of Public Works. Because that brine is the going solution for over-salting or unnecessary salting, as I understand. But apparently, according to Lower Marion, EAC, the Department of Public Works there is adamant that brine was not a feasible option.
but that could be because of cost, right, instead of
Well,
safety.
it's the cost of setting up the tank and then and then how you dispense it on the road means
So-
more equipment.
Maybe I can get more information from Larry on some of those
Yes, that
costs.
will certainly be the,
Okay, and the
okay.
process that they went through.
Yeah, right. Okay. Thank you. Okay, our Oh, Sven, the EAC Community Survey.
So the survey, there were two things I think that we discussed. One was the follow-up on the planting
Yep. Mm-hmm.
for all the residents that picked up plants. What happened to these plants?
Mm-hmm.
And we indeed sent out an email to everybody that was on the distribution list. And I think only 2 residents replied with photos of mini tiny little plants. And I think we can't use them for publication purposes. They're just not big enough. Yeah. So it
Okay.
was a very nice idea without a great outcome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and my lord, my perennials stayed beautiful into September. You know,
Yeah,
quite
I think they
photogenic.
just need 2 years to really fully establish, because I see that my garden is taking over by plants I planted 2 years ago, and now they get much bigger than I thought, so we have to follow up later.
Oh,
Bess?
Can we, if we check in July and August, August they get a little bit tired, but I think in July they really are going great guns. And
Yeah.
then, or in September, maybe July and then again in September.
Yes, we can do that.
Yeah.
Do you have photos from the planting at the school where we,
I do.
yeah,
Yeah.
maybe we just take some pictures from plants where we know where they are,
okay.
yeah?
And that would be, how would we get the word out on that? You want to have a,
I think the easiest way is, if you remember, for last year or this year, we had the leaflet that came with the plants,
right?
and we include that in the next year's leaflet. That we ask people just to send photos of last year's plants.
Uh-huh.
That is one idea. Yeah, I think that is something we would need to do.
Okay. All right.
I was just gonna say, this is when you need like a hashtag, like an Instagram account for these perennials.
Yeah, I think if we want to have before after photos, I actually have enough of them. Yeah, but the idea was that I think it was requested in context of the budget discussion that we had for next year,
Right.
to have some evidence for the township that the money is well invested. So since we are approaching the end of the year, do we have a budget, by the way?
No, I haven't heard anything from Kathy yet.
Oh.
I was hoping she was going to be here.
Yeah.
Yes, that's the first aspect of the community canvassing. The second aspect was actually to get ideas on the community interest in a variety of topics, which we may have to whittle down. The topics include public EV charging stations, interest in proper management of trees on private property, and the banning of gas leaf blowers. So, again, I think this is something, a survey in its final form would be issued in the spring, you were thinking.
Yes, please.
No, go ahead.
I think we need to pick a topic where we want to, on which we want to focus. And for me, it would be definitely the gas leaf blower ban.
Same.
Because it would be good to get some support for the idea
Right.
from the citizens, whether they actually like that or not.
So, and I was going to add to that, because I went to the Board of Health, because I sit on the Radnor Board of Health, and the physicians on the board, when they heard that we were putting forth this proposal, were 100% behind it, just for air quality reasons and health implications. So if we could get them to maybe help support or include literature on this issue as it pertains to health of residents, then we're ready, I think, to bring it forward to the commissioners.
Definitely. Now, and getting the private citizen
Sure.
response as well.
Yeah.
You said Radnor Board of Health? Or
Yes, our Radnor Board of Health.
Yeah.
So-
We have a Red Board
Great.
of Health.
So who would like to draft that questionnaire? I mean, I can certainly put up some,
I can go ahead and do it. I'll
Which-
draft the questionnaire.
right. I've written a proposal that you may not have seen.
I probably didn't, but,
And let me forward that to you.
okay.
We also had already a questionnaire for this year.
Oh, you
We
did?
did,
Okay.
yeah, but it was just 10
Do you run it
questions,
through Gen AI?
but we can certainly recycle that.
Here's some Gen
Well,
AI.
they focused mostly on trees and plants.
We also smuggled in 3 questions on leaf blowers.
3, yes.
Yeah.
Okay. If you can share that with us again.
Yeah,
Thank you.
we can certainly do that, yeah.
And do we want to contact Lower Merion EAC and see how they were able to move heaven and earth on this? I'm just,
Yeah, we'll get to that in a minute.
Okay.
Because, yeah, you're like radar, you know. Yes, yes. Okay, that's great. So I can ask all of us here to, if not create, then comment on a draft survey dealing with gas leaf blowers. Great. Starting with the old questions from your survey, Sven. All right. Seed Library at Radnor Memorial Library.
Well, we gave the second grant, and they were almost completely out of seeds, so they were gonna begin to order new seeds. So I thought maybe Angina and I could follow up with them, because they had some ideas, programming, and some things that they would like to do. So when she's
Okay.
officially on board in January, maybe we could get together and follow up with them.
Okay. Great. Yeah, they really liked that second grant. Garden Club at local elementary schools.
Well, we're there, I'm hoping that we can give them a grant in 2026 when we finalize our 2026 budget again.
Right. Yep, sure, I'll put that line of expectations. Bess, the Garden Club?
All right, well, I met with the health teacher at Radnor Elementary, and they have a REF, the Radnor Educational Foundation, a grant to do a sensory garden, and so there's opportunity there for us to be involved either with native plants, supplying native plants to this sensory garden, but then also potentially around the front of the building. Neil, who is in charge of the facilities, the Green and Clean team, thinks that the Radnor Middle School is a little bit more of a priority than the Radnor Elementary School in terms of greening the front of the school, but we'll continue that discussion as we get towards the spring. I also just mentioned that I would be in touch with him just about plants and.
Okay, so this would be a spring activity.
Yes, and so it was really in May, early June that I worked on the Wayne Elementary Garden. So just for us to recall that timeline.
So we could potentially get plugs, at least, that would be set aside.
Sure.
From the spring giveaway.
Great.
Okay.
How many?
The same amount that Wayne Elementary had would be great.
Which
Um,
was,
I think we had 250 at least.
No
Does that
problem
sound
at all.
approximate? What's that?
yeah,
Yeah,
Okay, oh, yeah, we can,
Right, and we'll know
Yeah.
by then whether it's the elementary or the middle school.
Right. I think the middle school, we could maybe divide them up, but
250.
yeah,
Okay.
or more, we could do 400.
We need a bigger pickup truck then.
Yeah, I know.
Get all these
But we
plans.
did it, we did it. We
Yeah.
stacked it up. And yeah. Okay. I know folks, or I think it was Melissa wanted to follow up more with Lower Merion on the gas leaf blower ban. And in fact, Nancy Winkler, who's on the EAC in Lower Merion, said that they're hoping to host a Zoom event in January of 2026, at which several members of the EAC and Office of Sustainability would present a case study of what happened over the 5 to 6 years of getting feedback and advocacy for their successful gas leaf blower ban. Okay. Okay. No, thank you. Thank you, Sven. All right. So we can watch that space, but in the meantime, once I get the clearance from Kathy, I want to share our proposal with Lower Merion, and I'm also preparing a slide deck to present to the Board of Commissioners as requested by Kathy. And we can then share that slide deck after, well, hopefully a successful presentation of our request.
When is that presentation going to be?
Well, it hasn't been
It
established
hasn't been
yet.
set.
I've got to push for it, and I got to get the slide deck ready. And I'll certainly have all of you provide input on that.
And then do you think we can share it with our colleagues in the Board of Health? And then they can provide some of that feedback that is required?
I don't see why not, yeah. I think that's a good idea.
Because maybe we go together on this to the commissioners.
Yes,
Because it's connected, right?
yeah. No, I don't see why not. Because Lower Merion is the first township in Pennsylvania to successfully pass a gas leaf blower ban. It'll start with a summertime ban, and then after 2 to 3 years will be a year-round ban on gas leaf blowers.
Dan, are there other townships in this region that are also having these conversations, EACs or?
They're having conversations, but they're not advancing as far, certainly, as Lower Merion. I think a lot of them were chastened by what Swarthmore experienced, which was a little aggressive perhaps, and the ban was not approved by the commissioners.
Okay.
I don't know the full details, but it will be a climb for some individuals, and that's why we're going to have to garner public support and professional support.
Whether the Delaware County Office of Sustainability could weigh in. I mean, it just seems, I think one of the arguments that was made in that radio show that I shared with you all, was it Radio 2, or it was the fellow who was a landscaper who was very much about sustainable landscaping. He was very much concerned about the fact that the technology is not quite up to
Right.
speed. And so that he really thinks that, he's losing money because there's so much competition he's relative to his own sort of battery packs,
Right.
right? So
Right.
that,
And-
if everyone, though, if the whole region got on board with the ban, if everyone was using
Right. And this is,
electric
yes,
packs.
and this is what Lower Merion is requesting.
Right.
That we coordinate and design our ban to be similar to theirs. So it'll be a regional or at least multi-municipal ban. And my proposal piece does acknowledge the difficulty of going full electric leaf blower, the cost, and the questions about technology. And that's why I say there are natural methods to address leaves in the fall, and things like rakes. I mean, when I was as young as 40 years old, there was only rakes that you used. And so I think things can be corrected. Okay. Just a quick update from our state representative, Lisa Borowski. She represents our district. And unfortunately, the new Pennsylvania budget for 2026 says no new funding for public transit. That means SEPTA. And also funding for the Regional Greenhouse Gas Initiative, or RIGI, has been pulled. And this was a big step forward for the state, where to reduce carbon emissions and other pollutants by energy generators and industry as a whole. So she is looking for our help as individuals and as environmental organizations in sharing our stories about SEPTA and how essential it is, and also the concern about air pollution. Okay. In that note, Lower Merion EAC Office of Sustainability is also working on an open house in April on residential clean energy transition. So there'll be a variety of topics that they would like to present on rooftop solar, hot water heat pumps for heating and cooling, residential insulation and air sealing, and hopefully electrification of lawn equipment. So we'll keep an eye out for when this workshop will be taking place. Sven can't address the grass height ordinance. Recycling and waste management, Tracy Viola from Tredyffrin mentioned to me that she's noticed at the Lancaster Farmers Market that there are a lot of small plastic produce bags being used, and material like small bags that are not covered by our single-use plastic ban on bags. And she would like to work with us, her EAC, to work with us to see if we can curb the overuse of those bags and keep them out of landfills. So this is something we will need to talk about. And because I wasn't around when the single-use plastic bag ordinance was designed and put in place, we may have to talk to former colleagues and just see what feedback they got and resistance they got from the community and proceed from there. Okay, and there's our budget, our spend. Our current total expenses have been almost $6,700, leaving about $630 as our current balance. So if we can drum up a presentation, it's impossible, between now and the end of the year. We can have an
Do we get,
honorarium.
does that roll over, Dan?
I don't think so. You use it or lose it. So we have to, and the hope was to get more presentations this fall, but we're not able to accomplish that. So without any further comment, let's adjourn. Okay, thank you, Rick, Ian. It's adjourned.